Welcome to this Sunday service with the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm Reverend Jacqueline Brett, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, gender, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. If you're new to this community, and especially if you're visiting today, I invite you to introduce yourself in the chat box. You'll also find a link there that will help you to learn more about us. At this time, all of our Sunday services and programs are online. Our campus remains closed as we do our part to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. But we always have a lot going on here. Do consult our weekly e-news and our web calendar at ERUUF.org. That's ERUUF.org to find out more. We would not be able to bring this service to you without the work of some very special people. Sean Trimble and Jenny Jolly are the tech team for today's service. Our music today features Jocelyn Neal, ERUUF's multi-generational virtual summer choir, and Kate Lewis on piano. Now, I invite us all to center ourselves and take a deep breath in and let it out. We continue with the prelude offered here by Kate Lewis.
Breathing in clean, hot summer air, pedaling while the world sleeps, shifting gears to navigate the rolling hills, gazing out at farms and cows, humming along to made-up lyrics, breaking to snap a pic of a tall cornfield, appetized by the thought of getting lost in a haunted corn maze, taking aim at zombies as they pop up, a big smile emerges. Who am I? Breathing out, Friday night date night, the at-home edition, cussing at the TV when the judge exclaims guilty to those innocent black kids in the Central Park jogger case. The first time hearing the story told, a tiny bubble shielding out everyday reality. Something inside begins to ache. Screaming to get off the couch and actually do something, resisting the temptation to quietly keep benefiting from the systems, excusing it away by simply proclaiming Black Lives Matter on Facebook and calling it a night. Who do I want to be? Breathing in 20 minutes yoga with Adrian for neck and shoulder pain. cracking up with family over Zoom at a video resurfacing of dad lip-syncing. Scrolling through contact lists, finding courage to reconnect with old friends. Overjoyed at the thought of standing outside in a long line, waiting for a shopping cart to be cleaned off at Trader Joe's, munching on a chocolate croissant just like childhood, feeling a jittery sensation of excitement of grocery store adventures that await. Who am I? Breathing out, feeling empty, not seeing people, burdened by the weight of everything wrong in this country, feeling fulfilled with new knowledge and connections, proud of the protesters lining the streets, waking my senses to what it means to grow up white, reminding me of my life's purpose. COVID has taught me, in life's toughest moments, we learn the most about ourselves. Who do I want to be?
Our chalice lighting this morning is adapted from the words of Betsy Darr, who says, "May the light of this chalice give light and warmth to our community, both when we are joyful and when we despair." Our first hymn this morning is Blue Boat Home, written by Unitarian Universalist singer-songwriter Peter Mayer, and set to the well-known Welsh hymn tune, Hyfrydal. It is performed here by Jocelyn Neal and Kate Lewis on piano, and we invite you to sing along.
Still my dry land heart can see. I
This morning, we bring to you our annual poetry service, which began with Todd Resley's opening words, "Who am I?" An archetypal human question he pondered aloud, taking us along as he breathed in and breathed out a contemplation of his day-to-day life. The poet William Ayotte says that poetry gives us direct, unmediated access to the invisibles, those unseen, unspoken qualities of empathy, imagination, and creativity that give our lives both meaning and depth. Indeed, poetry speaks to us in the spaces between the lines, and often we don't know exactly what it is or why, only that it does. Annie Shagnott and Emmy Ikanda, editors of the poetry volume How Lovely the Ruins, refer to this phenomenon as creative disruption, which moves us out of the default thought processes of our brain and into our hearts. Most of us would not deny that this has been and remains quite a year of disruption, shocking, disappointing, life-altering, frightening, and for some, quite devastating. There's disruption that has been individual and collective, and often difficult to take in or fully comprehend. And it is for these reasons that we bring to you these particular poems today, all original creations in which our poets grapple with complexities of life and our times. They bring to us offerings that are poignant, tender, hard, full of raw truth-telling and depths of vulnerability. The poet Elizabeth Alexander says, "When language is disregarded from the highest perches and public words regularly carry meaning that reduces groups to crude and false stereotypes, the nuance and precision of poems is an ever more necessary tool for living. Poems are how we say, this is who we are. Poems are heart and soul made legible." And so let us move into this experience of hearts and souls made legible. We begin with Gerda Presson, who offers a very moving piece inspired by her daughter called My Firstborn.
My firstborn, conceived in love, in a flurry of passion, bodies sliding, focused, deliberate, explosive joy. Swaddling blanket, plastic box for a crib, just like all the others. Name on the label in pink, Barber, girl. No wrinkled babe she, smooth skin so fair, soft as peaches, silken wisps atop her head, eyes of blue, fingers, toes, each 10. 20 years have passed, skin still fair, a sunburst of lines adorn smiling eyes, still blue, a few silken wisps atop her head. Long blonde hair woven into mesh lies discarded on the desk, lifeless, synthetic, itchy and hot. Weeks pass, wisps grow long once more, but scalpel takes the breast that will not grow again. Beneath her breast, which suckled young, beats a heart with courage, strength, and love, inspiring hope. My firstborn, with skin so fair, conceived in love, still lives with faith, focused, deliberate, finding her joy.
Our next three poets offer haunting and jarring reflections as they confront the diverse meanings these times hold in the lives we've co-created together. Henry Amador Batten begins with The Mist, followed by Jay Vaughn and Missing Big Mama, and then Chris Macon with Your Freedom First.
Is this it? We asked each other quietly as to not concern the children. Is this the end of it all, or the beginning of the end of things as we know it? Did they ask each other the same questions as darkness was slowly replacing the blue of their skies? Did they know that there was danger in that innocuous mist, the kind of danger that would silently take your life? No one was telling them it was dangerous, but surely they would have, right? If this were another silent, invisible, and deadly plague that was attacking us from behind, wouldn't they have told us by now? They would have, right? My beautiful queer brothers and sisters were not warned. They danced right into that darkening mist. Their beautiful, innocent, and trusting bodies just continued to laugh and love and trust until they were no more. Now I mark my door with their blood, and I pray, dear Lord, may this pass our home. May this leave us. May this leave us breathing. May this pass over our babies. This time will be different, my love. Right? What if this is it, my love? I asked him in a hush as to not scare the children. What if this is what turns us against our neighbors? What if this is what forces us to hide away in our secret spaces, behind a bookshelf, or simply behind our own picket fences? What if this is what turns us against our neighbors out of fear for our own lives? What if we find ourselves sheepishly pointing fingers at our friends, now enemies? We would never do that, right? This is it, my dear one. We need to wake the children. They need to know. They need to understand. They need to be able to help. We can no longer leave them lie in their innocence, hoping that they just won't notice. No one is leading us, or warning us, or protecting us, my dear one. There is danger all around us, my love. Breathe deep, my love. Deeper still, my love. For those that can no longer breathe, the countless souls lost in dark chambers, alone in empty hospital rooms, on ventilators, or under a bended knee. Gather the children, my darling. Gather what we need quickly. Gather our items most precious and gather our strength. For God's sake, gather our strength. It's time to go.
In times like these, America needs Big Mama. Who was Big Mama? Big Mama was the cook who fed you when you were hungry. Big Mama bandaged pain when you fell. Big Mama let you lay on her breast, white boy. Big Mama put out fires in the slave quarters. Big Mama laid down, bedded Master White Man to keep the peace. Big Mama was pulled here and there, here and there, here and there. What is white supremacy? Ask Big Mama.
I salute you. Names unmarked in history, but we see you now. Even if we ignored you then, on front lines of marches, back rooms of churches and mosques, street corners with fists high, bodies that were abused, bodies that carried seeds of the future, minds that developed our strategies, always on the leading edge, always taking the leading edge of oppression. Sometimes you hid who you truly were, behind the cloak of what society thought you should be. We did not listen. We did not listen to your spirit when it told you it didn't fit, that your bodies were in pain, then ravaged your flesh, then discarded you, and called you out of your name. They desired you but blamed you for their shame. Denying you was denying ourselves. We denied you acceptance. We denied you help. We taught our sons to deny how they felt, so when they lashed out, it was you injured first, whether through blood or birth. I acknowledge your hurt. So I say what should be uncontroversial, undeniable, appreciated, celebrated for those whose gender at birth is subject to unjust laws controlling their bodies and who they love, for those who politicians mandate what they can or cannot be. They are trans, they are women, those who bear children, those who cannot or will not. I salute you. Like mine, her blood stains streets, but too often her name misses lips. She who holds the world on her hips. We gaze long enough to see her, turn away too quick. But here's what we missed. Her dance sweet, her body curved, her heart heavy, her love golden, her pain deep, her courage strong, her patience unmatched, her hope in humanity enduring, her truth silenced. No more. Your vision must be our vision. I salute the women, the divine feminine that has led us this far. Your freedom is first.
So let us pause and breathe. I invite you to join with me for a spoken meditation adapted from So I shall begin again and say, let us pause and breathe. and I invite you to join with me for a spoken meditation adapted from We Were Made for These Times by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And she says, "My esteemed ones, do not lose heart. We were made for these times." I would like to take your hands for a moment and assure you that you are well built for these times. Despite your sense of doubt, your frustrations in writing all that needs change right now, or even feeling you have lost the map entirely, you are not without resource. You are not alone. Help calm the storm. Do not allow yourself to be taken in a flurry of overwrought emotion or despair. Ours is not the task of fixing the entire world at once, but of stretching out to mend the part of the world that is within our reach. Any small, calm thing that one soul can do to help another soul, to assist some portion of this poor, suffering world, will help immensely. It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward an enduring good. We know that it does not take everyone on earth to bring justice and peace, but only a small, determined group who will not give up during the first, second, or 100th gale. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a storming world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times, can send up flares, builds signal fires, causes proper matters to catch fire. To display the lantern of soul in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, both are acts of immense bravery and greatest necessity. Struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. At this time, we lift up the joys and concerns of our congregation. Alan and Susan Hollister happily announced the celebration of their 50th wedding anniversary yesterday, August 29th. We lift up our concerns for our nation, for those in Louisiana and Texas living in the aftermath of a hurricane, for the death, grief, and tumult shaking our nation at its core, and for our democracy, sorely in need of sound and just leadership. Let us hold these in our hearts for a moment of silence. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. Our music for meditation is by Kate Lewis. Poet Elizabeth Alexander tells us that poems mark a trail of identities. Poems laid end to end are a map of the human voice. The voices of our next three poets express the inner tensions we often hold when we acknowledge our full selves and move beyond simplistic conversation to wrestle with the truth of our feelings about what's going on in the world. Lisa Jones begins with Furious, followed by Mur Lafferty with Rage, Rage, and then our final poem, When the World is Out of Your Hands, by the young and very wise Catherine Adams.
I'm going to tell you a secret today, though it's forbidden, so I shouldn't share. I'm never to tell you what lies deep inside my soul isn't something to bear. I'm not even sure of the reason, just simply endowed with the rule. It accompanies my skin and my gender, the main ingredient and source of my fuel. It's used to dismantle the violence you spew. You see an angry Black woman, but you don't have a clue because I'm furious. Skip the anger, the pissed offness, I'm furious. In a meeting, I'm smiling and I'm furious. Yes, I'm laughing and joking and furious. Stop killing my family, I'm furious. Oppression, the president, I'm furious. Russia, the market, and China, too many George Floyds are dead. No aspirin that's made can ease my heart, and acids cannot help my head. Now, don't panic, because I see it all in your face. I'm not off the deep end. I'm still in the race. No need for recording, for I'll act with grace, but my mask has slipped off. So today in this place, I'm sharing my secret. Just don't tell the rest. Don't call the police or contact the press. I'm still an American, just under duress, with one minor detail that I must confess. I'm furious. Men are hanging, slow changes. I'm furious. No peaceful nature. I'm tired of acting. I'm furious. Humility escapes me. No answer from God. Is kindness for suckers? Just take off these bonds. COVID is rampant. My armor out on. Outside is the enemy. My gut is a bomb. You think that you know me, but you're oh so wrong. Oh, I'm smart and I'm funny and I'll sing peaceful songs. Paternalism's insulting. No father in sight. Raised by the goddess, so you have no right to govern my body, yet you plant your seed, then don't want to help me when I am in need. Within me, confusion, I turn on myself. My heart longs for peace, but I can't catch my breath. I can't shut out horror. My head swims around. People are dying. The White House let us down. So I'm furious. My heart is broken. The smell of gunfire. I'm furious. Don't you dare look away from me when I'm furious. No, you don't get to hide because I'm furious. You're late for the show, but there are seats on the ride. I'm sick of the dancing. My feet are so tired. If you pay attention, just open your mind. You'll see the hypocrisy and maybe you'll find that you're furious.
Rage, rage. Creative professionals have made COVID-inspired media during the past 6 months. Not necessarily COVID-related, but media designed to amuse or at least distract. Everyone wants to help right now, but for many of us, help means staying home. That doesn't feel like help. So, many people feel a call to create for a world desperate for escapism or hope. Unfortunately, I've created very little this year. I'm lost in my own head. Usually there's a lot going on up there, but lately it's been a quiet despair. Outside there's a roar, the deafening noise of the conflicts in public health, racial injustice, and the environment. The noise is overwhelming. It frightens me when it's so quiet inside and so loud outside. You've probably realized by now that I'm not a poet, but Dylan Thomas was. And his lines, "Do not go gentle unto that good night, and rage, rage against the dying of the light," speak to me to say, we can always fight, even if the odds are insurmountable, if only to keep back the darkness for a little longer. Since the beginning of the year, part of me did give up. But lately I've remembered this poem, and I realized that even if the roar of this year is deafening, that doesn't mean I shouldn't rage and rage again to keep the darkness back. I can't beat this alone. But my rage gives me hope, and its very action awakens the creativity inside of me and reminds me that there's a reason to create.
Unpredictability has never been my friend. It has always left anxiety on my doorstep for me to pick up before it even rings the doorbell. When the world is out of your hands, you reach up and grasp the sky. Your hands are stained with watercolor, fingers pricked by sewing needles and inexperience, a voice strained from your favorite songs, eyes aching from other realities soaked with blue light. It's hard not to wonder what could have been. I envy the people who will be too young to remember this. I feel the memories I hadn't even made yet slip through my fingers. They have all been overwritten by monotonous days of sleeping in and scrolling mindlessly through social media. My cheeks are wet and my heart hurts as I long for 5 months ago. I long for the simplicity of going to Walmart. I long for the repetition of biology warm-up sheets. I long for the melody of my friends' laughter. I miss everything I took for granted. People say everything happens for a reason. But I wonder if bad things just happen because they can. Because maybe the Earth is just an anomaly, and we live on a roulette board where the prize is always lemons. And sometimes we make pie, and sometimes we just sit with the juice in our eyes. And that's okay. Because maybe the scar is another story to tell. Or it's a reminder to keep going. Remember, there are some things we can control. And we are still alive somehow. We are still unlimited, powerful, whole. Our hands are stained with hope. Our fingers are pricked with ambition. Our voices are strained as we scream for those who can't. Our eyes are aching from the sun that still shines. Nobody knows what comes next. I wish I did with everything in me. And maybe this didn't happen for a reason. But what comes next surely will. Because we are strong enough, and our hands will not reach for nothing.
Please join me in thanking our poets in the chat box, thanking them for sharing their truth, their wisdom, and most of all, their hearts. Today, and for the rest of August, we are taking up an offering to do our part in extending the impact and reach of the work of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee the work they do on behalf of social justice and human rights around the world. You may give right now using the link you'll find in the chat box, or you may give through ERUUF's website by clicking the Give button at the top of the screen and then the Give Now button. You may also send a check through the mail with UUSC indicated on the memo line. And as the effects of the pandemic begin to hit some of us hard, please be reminded that the Minister's Discretionary Fund is available. This is money that our members have given in order to help each other in times of need. Please contact one of the ministers if you think we might be able to help. Our music for the offertory is called My Street, written by our own Jocelyn Neal. This original song reflects the many moments each of us has spent this summer finding the intersections of home, nature, activism, and community. The photographs are of members of the ERUUF Virtual Summer Choir, which has brought together singers across the span of generations. We give thanks for the many, many gifts of this day. And as we are reaching more friends of ERUUF, I encourage you to share the gift of this service with the people in your circles. Simply click the like and share icons on your screen, or copy the link for today's service and email it to a friend. For our closing words, we return to Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who says, "One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. May your soul shine, my friends. Go in peace, go in love, and may your life be a blessing. Namaste.